of, I think it was a comment I saw, Facebook or somewhere. A gun in the home is 41%, whatever the percentage is that the anti-gunners throw out there, more likely to kill somebody in the family than it is to kill a burglar, or whatever that line is. You know, that line is so dumb. That is, and they probably know it, but it's almost as bad as that rationale. Well, you have to have controls. You can't. There's controls on the First Amendment too. You can't shout fire in a crowded theater, you know. So you don't necessarily get to have an assault rifle or whatever they want to ban. You know? Well, that's faulty logic as well. Yeah, you can shout fire in a crowded theater. I can go do it this afternoon if any of the theaters are open. I can go to a mall or somewhere where there's a big crowd of people, and guess what I can do? I can shout fire as loud as I possibly can. Can I? Yeah, you can do that. But guess what? There's ramifications. There are consequences for that. I'm in trouble. I might be in jail over that. Okay? Yeah, so you can do it. Unless they tape up your mouth with duct tape before you go in, then you can't. Okay, if that's what you're talking about, limiting the First Amendment and just putting a big piece of duct tape on people's mouths before they go into a movie theater, yeah, okay, yeah, that's what you're talking about, limiting the ability to shout fire. You know, so then you're limiting the capability. Yeah, that's what they want to do with gun control. They want to limit the possibility. Yeah, somebody can go murder somebody right now, but there are consequences. Yeah, so you know, it's just a faulty logic. In this business about a firearm in the home is more likely to kill somebody in the home and all that kind of thing. Well, yeah, maybe so, than it is to shoot a burglar. I don't know how many people shoot burglars. For one thing, firearms are used, like, was it millions of times, like a day or a week, to thwart crime, to run off somebody who meant you harm, okay, without ever firing it, okay, and then sometimes firing it, right, okay. So you gotta, that's all out there that nobody wants to admit. But then again, that's kind of like saying that I don't know what, I know the rate of suicide among cops is kind of high. For whatever reasons, I'm not going to get into all that, but just I know it's higher, I think, than the average public for whatever reason. Just like, you know, our veterans kind of, but so isn't that a little bit like saying, and I don't know if the numbers would jive the same way, but the logic there would be kind of similar, saying, well, cops shouldn't be carrying a gun. They're more likely to commit suicide with they are to shoot a murderer or something. Oh, okay. Well, then let's not let them carry guns. Let's not let you have a gun in your house to ward off maybe a home invasion or a murder, whatever it is, you know, to protect yourself, because there is that chance that you're irresponsible or you don't have it locked up or whatever, and or somebody in the house commits suicide or whatever. So let's not let people have a gun in their house, you know, duh. So we'd have to look at the numbers of how many times somebody is protected by a firearm before we could even talk about numbers and math. But yet they start throwing out this statistic that, well, a gun is more likely 41 times or whatever the percentage is to kill somebody, an innocent person, and all that sort of thing. You know? Isn't that a little bit like saying, like that fire extinguisher I have in my car, for example? I keep one in the house too. That fire extinguisher I have in the house, right there handy in the kitchen. You know, it's about that high. It's a nice one. You shouldn't have that. It's more likely to fall on somebody and break their toe, fall over and break somebody's toe, than it is to put a fire out in your house. I've always had a fire extinguisher like that. I've never had put out a fire in my house. So yeah, you're probably right. It is. In fact, I think I have banged my toe, or maybe it's more likely to hurt somebody in the house than it is to put a fire out. So get rid of it. You know, we could come up with a lot of different analogies, you know, with cars and with ladders and different things that people get hurt on, you know. Just silly. So Be careful of what you hear. If you're kind of, maybe you're a new viewer, you're on the fence, you're not even a serious gun person, but you enjoy kind of watching some of the firearms being displayed and everything, you're not even sure you're going to buy one or be a shooter. And we have a lot of viewers like that, because I can tell from comments and messages I get. You don't have to. No law says you have to own a firearm and make that your hobby or anything, your life's endeavor. But just be aware of some of the crazy logic out there and what people's agendas are. You know, as I remind you of that quite often. People have agendas. Do I need to tell you that? If we haven't learned that from politics lately, I don't know when we're ever going to learn it. Everybody has an agenda, and they just, wow, they can't see past it, right? And then all of us are possibly guilty of that, right? So we have to check ourselves. But wow, it's just so obvious and so shallow with so many people these days. So anyway, that's enough on that.